In this video, we'll dive into the heart of Facebook ads. I'll show you how to make your prospects feel like you understand their problem to the T. Most of the time, the big difference between an average shitty ad and a Grand Slam winner is the angle, is the way you present the message and wording it in a way that makes your prospect feel understood. So in this video, I'll share with you our proprietary EPIC framework, which is the framework we use to never run out of ideas when it comes to winning angles. Then I'll show you how to find new angles pretty much anywhere on the internet, and I'll show you how to match the right message with the right audience. So without further ado, let's dive in.
All right, so in this video, we're gonna be talking about angles. We've seen the audience, and now it's time to focus on the angle part of our ads. Now, why are angles so important? Simply because at the audience level, we decide who to target. At the angle level, we decide how to target these people. So in this video, we're gonna be covering what is an angle. As I said, an angle represents the way we decide to present the problem, the product, or the persona within the ad. And we will be talking about how to move in a crowded market. And we will also be introducing the EPIC framework, navigating tens of thousands of angles options. Thanks to the EPIC framework, we will be covering 4 categories: emotional, practical, identity, and critical angles. Finally, we will be going through the information sources that we have at our disposal when we are looking for new angles. So how we approach or how you can approach your information research based on the product you promote. So this is going to be an interesting video, and most importantly, it's a very crucial one to understand how to build your own ads. So let's get started with the first chapter. What is an angle? The audience is who we target. The angle is how we target them. An angle represents the way we decide to present the problem, the product, or the persona within the ad. We can get as creative as we want with it, but at the end of the day, the goal is to get the prospect to think that we deeply understand them. In the audience chapter, we talked about the market size versus relatability problem. And what we want to do with the angles is understand that the more narrow we go, the more relatable our ads will be. And for that reason, the more people will feel like we understand them, and they have finally found a brand that understands their problem, that understands their needs, and so on. Now, this is extremely important in all the markets, but especially in crowded markets. Angles help us make our ads much more relatable and direct to a specific part of the audience. You can find untapped audiences even in the most crowded markets, and this is why angles are great. Let's take an example. So you want to market a portable breast pump. Let's say the option 1 would be targeting all moms who breastfeed their babies. Obviously, the competition would be just nuts. Imagine the amount of moms who breastfeed their babies. Let's try to go a little more narrow and add an option 2 where we would be targeting all first-time moms who also have a job and need a portable device that was designed to be used on the go and they can multitask with. This is obviously gonna lead to a lower volume of competition. You see the difference in terms of competition volume. Also, how more understood would those busy first-time moms feel while watching the option 2 ad. That's the point of angles. That's why angles are so important, and that's why we really need to understand how to leverage them. Now, the goal is to create ads based on the angles that make the audience feel like they've been personalized to them. So they've got these angles, these ads just for them. Think of a young guy, for example, who's ashamed of his dad bod. Ad 1 shows a simple t-shirt and a fit guy wearing it. I don't think any market can get more crowded than that. Ad 2 shows another young guy who's a bit chubby in the before and after, going from a standard t-shirt to another one that emphasizes his body in the right parts. So it might have tight arms, tight chest that emphasize the both parts, but then they have a loose belly, for example. Obviously, that t-shirt would feel much more personalized to him compared to the first t-shirt that was just a simple guy, a fit guy, nothing that would make him feel like this brand understands me. Where has it been up until now? This is where we move on to the EPIC framework. Now, the EPIC framework is something that we built internally. We built it internally based on what gets people to take action, what gets people to start thinking about doing something. The EPIC framework helps you navigate the tens of thousands of angles available out there, so gives you a lens through which you can pick and choose the best performing ones for the audiences you want to target. It doesn't matter what product you're selling. It doesn't matter what industry you're selling in. You have an unlimited amount of angles you can you can create for whatever product. So we need a bit of a structure. We need some guidelines that we can follow to make sure that we're not just wasting our time with random angles, but we are using angles that actually get people to buy. Just like winning audiences, winning angles are incredibly important as a part of our asset. Once we find new winning angles, we want to make sure we keep them profitable. And this is another aspect that's extremely, extremely important. Once we get to keep our audiences profitable and our angles profitable, then finding new winning ads is not going to be a problem. As long as we create variations of those ads that are targeting a winning audience, that are targeting a winning audience through a winning angle, that's absolutely good, and that's gonna make our job much easier. Now, there are 4 main categories of angles we focus on at 99 Ads. The first one is emotional angles. Emotional angles tap into the emotions and feelings that our prospects experience for or with other people or loved ones in general. Think of ways to help a loved one, gifts, bonding moments, or support during a difficult situation. People who react to these angles are driven by emotions and want to help others. They normally are not interested in buying stuff for themselves, but prefer helping or creating magic moments with others. Just to give you some examples, my mom was not able to walk until I found this. I gifted my daughter this new pillow to help her with her cervical. This card game completely changed our family time. So, as clear as that, here we are basically giving them opportunities to help, to give support to their loved ones. That can be a mom, that can be the family member, it can be a dog, it can be a cat, it can be whoever. Then we have practical angles. Practical angles are related to the specific problems that your product is proven to solve. This is where you may also focus on features and frame the ad from a factual standpoint. We talk about how potential customers can solve their problems using our product and why our product is the best in the market for that specific problem. These angles target people who struggle with a problem, that are in pain, or are facing a difficult situation and can't find a solution. We simply show them ours. Examples: get rid of acne with this new skincare formula. Plantar fasciitis doesn't allow you to run. This treatment will get you back on track again. Finally, dermatologists confirm that red light therapy is a must against acne. This is why. Obviously, here we are targeting a different pole of the audience. The people who take action based on an emotional angle very likely are not going to be people who take action based on a practical angle. These are two different type of people. Obviously, the same person can get triggered to buy, to purchase, can get convinced by two different types of angles, but most of the time they tend to relate better and respond better to one of the four. For that reason, here we are focused on the practical sides, which are completely different compared to the emotional. They are on the other part of the feelings and facts axis. Now, moving forward, we have the identity angles. Identity angles are related to the status of the prospect and how it can be impacted by your product. Here we are targeting people who want to be part of a restricted group or who want to elevate their social status. This group of people is driven by their need to feel part of something bigger or important. Show how your product gets them access to the new group. Some examples: become a CrossFitter. Join our club today. Don't settle for mediocrity. Join our community and become a pro trader. Finally, are you a serious e-commerce owner who wants to scale? This program is what you're looking for. Finally, we have critical angles. Critical angles tap into efficiency and convenience. They work like magic with rational people. Show your prospects how the product helps them save resources such as money, time, effort, etc. People who react to these angles are usually looking for a way to solve their problems with no effort. You want to prove how little effort is required to get the results they want. And just to give you some examples, the most complete program at the price of 1 coffee per day. Get rid of acne in 5 minutes per day. Get more than 50% off with this bundle. This is quite an interesting perspective. When we figured out the EPIC framework, we literally changed the way we picked and chose angles. It was completely different, and understanding that the axis and X chart that we explained before this lesson on the angles, and they help you understand how different people are interested in different things. So they get motivated by different aspects and different angles, of course. Now, how to find endless angles. Once you get a good grasp of the EPIC framework, your life as an advertiser will be much more sustainable. That being said, you will constantly need to add new winning angles to your ad account or assets portfolio, as by now I think you look at it as. In order to do that, you need to stay updated and keep researching. Here are some great sources of information for your angles. The first one that we still use quite a lot is Facebook communities. Some people think that they just get out of business, which is not the case. There are Facebook communities for pretty much everything, and they are still incredibly active. This is great if you're targeting people over 40 years old. Then we have Reddit and forum and subreddits. Here you can find extremely valuable questions, common problems, and past experiences that you can use to better understand your audience. You also have online forums, which is I'm kind of a fan of, and I think I grew up with online forums. Lots of threads in which users talk about their experiences and look for guidance and ideas from other users. The interesting part here is that you have decades of stored information. These are great for 40-plus-year-old audiences, but also for those products that are not innovating anything particularly, but that have been on the market for a long time. So all this information in the online forums can help you get a good grasp of what gets people to buy, what motivates them, why they are interested, why they are in the market for a specific product, and so on. Then we have Amazon reviews. You can understand people's thoughts about the competition's product or your product. 1-star and 5-star reviews are great. Everything in between can be interesting as well. You can see what the customer was expecting and what they got instead, which is great for competitors' research as well. Then you have TikTok and Reels comments. Social media is one of the best tools for better understanding your audience, and short content is becoming more and more relevant. Then finally, we have other platforms. You have pretty much an unlimited amount of sources of information for your product. Depending on what you sell, you might have dedicated sources that outperform all of the above. Depending on what you sell, Quora and ChatGPT can be amazing tools. I would highly recommend Twitter as well, X or whatever we call it now. Those are all great sources of information. The 5 we put here, these are very good and they're very standard. So pretty much for all the products, you can find all of these sources available. For others, you can definitely add to this list the dedicated ones. And they tend to be very interesting when it comes to finding the right angles. Conclusions: to create good creatives, you need winning angles. Now, you know how to pick and choose your angles based on who you are targeting, but also how and where to find information on your audience. This is pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
And now that you understand how to never run out of angles for your Facebook ads, here's the free call to action. So first things first, hit the subscribe button. I'm publishing new videos every single week. The quality is going to increase, it's going to go up and up. So you better follow this channel if you want to increase your ROAS. Number 2, I put together a 12-hour video explaining everything you need to know about Facebook ads and much more to conquer 2025. So if you're interested in increasing your ROAS, you must watch this video and you'll find it right here. So click here and I'll see you there. Cheers.